figure it out? We got Jesus. Jesus says hello. It's going to be interesting filming.
Oh, man.
It's snowing out, so the cats will not be going outside to chase mice. They will be in here the whole time.
Chasing us.
Be colorful. You guys, did you say we have YouTube going? This is YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys can start typing in your questions for the Ask a Medium portion of the show. Before we get to that, we're going to be I will be giving your weekly horoscopes. We're just going to give one more second for people to tune in. And, okay. We're going to keep our tail. Okay. This is, let's see where we are. All right. The next live Ask a Medium show is going to be on Wednesday, November 20th at 9 p.m. We have level 1 psychic mediumship development class beginning, November 14th. Could you take that paper bag away? We have another cat over here. They're so bored. They can't go outside and play with this horrible snow. We're in Buffalo here. So November 14th is the beginning of level 1 psychic mediumship development class. The registration deadline for that is going to be the 10th. Now, there are only 5 seats left if you're coming and attending in person. If you want to take it through Facebook Live or you want to do the video download, there's no maximum head count. We could do a ton. But you will need to register for that. Now, I did put a link above. For YouTube, it'll be below, but it's the link to the website where you can go to register. Also, if you want to book a reading with me or you want to look at a full list of public events where I'll be or other classes at the Academy, it's all there. Rivera, psychicmedium.com. Are you ready?
I made it.
Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
We centered here?
A little bit more.
You want to fix it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. If you guys have not already checked out your November horoscopes, all zodiac signs, it's up on my YouTube channel for the month. And if you guys subscribe there, you'll get updates when I do the weekly horoscopes and the monthly horoscopes. So check it out.
So much.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm afraid to move. All right, it's been a wild day. Okay, so this is going to go up on YouTube. Now, once I'm done with this part of it, we're going to start getting to your questions. Again, feel free to start typing them in. Paul will start taking them. What?
Names, please.
Names, please. Names of your deceased pets, your living pets that you're asking about, deceased loved ones. If you're asking about someone living, about your relationship or whatever, include a name, please. So we are taking all kinds of questions: psychic, mediumship, lost objects, spiritual development, okay, whatever it is, can be anything. All right. So welcome. I'm Ivy Rivera, psychic medium. This is Ask Medium, where I take your personal questions and I give your weekly horoscope. To catch the next show, that's going to be Wednesday, November 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube Live. For those of you who want to register for Level 1 Psychic Mediumship Development class, we start on the 14th. You can do that through Facebook Live, video download, or in person. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so for your weekly and monthly updates. Your November horoscopes are up on YouTube already. This is your weekly horoscope for Thursday, November 7th through Thursday, November 14th. What do I have going on for you? Let's see what we're getting here for Aries. Aries, first thing I have coming up with you, you do have some male energy watching out over you, grandfathers, fathers, and guides. I want to say protector and work guides coming up behind you and giving a bit of a shove forward. Anytime I feel that much force coming from behind me, I know that there's something you're debating on. You're either feeling as though you don't know if you should take the leap in a certain situation, or you aren't sure that it's, how do I want to say this? It's like you're blind to it. It's like you don't know that it's right in front of you and this is exactly what you need to do. So sometimes I think of that video of the mother cat watching the baby kitten try to jump, and she just shoves it down into the box. You're not going to get hurt in this process, but if you stand still and you decide that you're not going to make a move, you're not going to pursue this situation. For some of you, this may even be pursuing a person, meaning conversation. If you don't do this, that's sort of where the damage is going to be coming in. So you're going to have to be mindful this week. In particular, I'm really feeling Tuesday and Wednesday for you. Even though it starts before that, it's sort of leading up to that point that you go forward. I think this is a great time for blind faith. This would be a great example of why you shouldn't spend too much time thinking, and you should spend more time being right-brained or going with your gut instinct. One of the other things coming up for you, Aries, is either a child, or if you are the child who's doing this, there seems to be some type of a connection to the parent, some neediness, some type of a cord that needs to be, I don't want to say cut, but there has to be an evaluation of how and why exactly this type of bond, almost like a cut the apron strings type of a message is coming through. Why is it that you're codependent on that parent? Or why is it that your child is having such a hard time being independent from you? We definitely want to make sure that this week there's a focus on self-reliance, and you're going to have to push that. And if you don't have the answers, you're going to need to find them. But Spirit is helping you with that. Taurus, what is going on with you? Taurus, the first thing I see coming up for you is a Ferris wheel. It is going in the right direction. That's all I ask with these things. So this is going to be easier, okay? You're going through a transition that hasn't been stopping. It's a continuous flow. That's what Ferris wheels do. It's coming over here from your past, excuse me, which means it's been there for a minute. I'm choking, which means that part of the solution is going to come in your communication. You need to increase your communication. What they're saying to you, though, I do have your relationship guide coming in here. In order for you to increase your communication, you're waiting on additional information. I can understand how you got to this place, because if you didn't have everything that you needed in order to feel confident moving forward, now you'll have this data. The thing is, it's going to be really important for you, especially on Wednesday and possibly into Thursday afternoon, that you take this data, and it's almost like you already know what to do in your gut. I want to say that this is no time to allow yourself to become overly emotional, and it is a good time to look at anything that is holding you back. What is toxic in the situation? What has become a block? What is causing reservation in your life progress where it really shouldn't? And you're going to have to just sort of get off of that Ferris wheel. It doesn't feel to me like the leap forward is going to be that difficult, because it may pause for you, but not for very long, all right? So you are going in a forward-moving direction. I want to say this is a good week for you to have confidence, because it's already written. It's destiny charted. You're just allowing things to play out. This is not that complicated. There is some talk of your vehicle. So whether we're looking at small travel, we're looking at, for some of you, it almost feels like I could be talking about coming back home. It's almost like if you've been overseas, you've been out of state, you could find yourself going back to your home base. And my sense here is that some of you are looking at taking more power and control over your life. So that vehicle is actually more symbolic of you being behind the driver's seat. For a while, they're saying the last 3 weeks to 3 months, you've been stalled out. The car wasn't moving at all, and now it will be. Geminis, what's going on with you, my fellow Geminis? I have 3 different stones being given to you. So we have a green, we have a red, and we have a blue, but there's a white in between here. So let me see what they're saying about this. Okay. For the last 2 to 7 months, many of the Gemini people, sun, moon, rising, have been dealing with some situations that were held. They were steady, but they weren't progressing to the degree that you thought they should be. Sometimes when something is being held, it can create frustration. You feel like you're treading water. Why am I still sitting here waiting on this thing? How is this held up again? Because for some of you, I want to say that you may even have been dealing with the situation for the second time. And so it just seems to me like logically it would have seemed that it should have loosened itself, but it didn't. So what's happening at this point going forward is that you're being given a couple different stones. I want to say this is the universe handing you these. This is God handing you these. You are getting a green emerald. You're getting a red ruby, and you're getting a blue, what is that, sapphire, right? So now what do these represent and why did they come in this order? The first thing that you're getting is green. That's going to represent you doing some self-healing. For some of you, there was healing that had to happen before you could receive these benefits, have this prosperity, move forward, have this situation be loosened. So this is an opportunity for that to happen. You heal yourself, and then you'll be in a good position to receive this and go out and heal others eventually also. It's part of a story. I'm hearing write down your story, journal where you've been, journal your self-development, and there's a lot of talk here as we move into the redstone of what was the lesson? What are the lessons? There's more than one here. There's anywhere from 3 to 5, depending on who you are. Now, when they give you the redstone, red is passion. Red is prosperity. Red is a very mature love. And what I'm feeling is that you kind of went from an infancy stage into a mature, loving attitude toward yourself, and others around you, but the world. I feel that you've learned a lot about love. If you haven't, process those thoughts. That's part of what you were supposed to discover. In between there, we have some white, which is God energy, universal healing energy. That's angelic energy. That's channeling energy. White is coming through as like a wave. And so I feel like in between those lessons of love and this last stone, we have a channeling ability and a tremendous wisdom that would have come in that allowed you to have the last one. The last one is blue. That's self-empowerment. So what you're supposed to be doing with all of this, okay, Thursday, Friday, there's talk of next Monday, afternoon, Tuesday, morning, you're supposed to be taking these stones and you're supposed to be, I want to say that it's like guts, okay? I could see this could go in a wrong direction here the way this is coming out, but it could just be you being really gutsy and saying, this is mine. That was assigned to me. I know the universe is giving it to me, and I see you taking it. Okay, there could be some contracts involved in all of this too. On that time also. Cancers, what's happening for you? I want to say Cancers, we have a little bit of talk here of you potentially becoming absent-minded over your health, your well-being. Almost feeling good, but saying, well, I'm going to throw caution to the wind and I'm going to just eat this. I'm going to throw caution to the wind and I'm going to go do this spending. I feel like shaking it up and I've earned it. So, I'm going to go enjoy my life. And I'm hearing some questions almost like, have you? Are you positive? Not to say that you're not deserving of self-love, but don't be reckless with your resources. Take good care of your physical health too. Sometimes the choices that we make to feel good are really compensating for something that's wrong, something that's lacking. I'm under the impression that you need some kind of high or you need some type of uplifting energy to keep you going. And underneath all of that is almost like a fear an egotistical type of energy that says, I'm going to control things. I'm going to control things. I'm going to be excessive. I'm going to be greedy. This is a great week for you to calm down, be centered, rooted, and grounded. There's a little bit of talk here of either a new lover, or I want to say a past lover, coming up and stirring the pot. This makes me feel like it could very well be in your, what is it? You have something to say. This could very well just be in your memories. When I'm talking about a past lover, I'm not only talking about this life. I could also be talking about someone from a previous life, but when they enter your energy field, they stir the pot. It stirs a lot of emotions. When it's hysterical, it's historical. If you're meeting someone or thinking of someone from your past who's making you feel as though you have unresolved issues, there was something that happened that left you feeling as though you were abandoned. Anything like this, you're going to need to process that. And for some of you, it may have very well been almost like a blow to your self-esteem and more in relation to your career or work. So let me just say this real quick. I know I'm taking too long with that one, but if you were maybe even fired or let go, from a job previously, and you said, how could that happen? I'm not the kind of person who gets fired. Oh my God, this is, a real blow to my self-esteem. I don't feel capable going out there to job interviews anymore. Maybe you just didn't belong there, and there's a bigger picture to all of this. Okay. Sometimes things happen not because they technically should have, but because by universal standards, you needed to get onto something more within your life path, which is ultimately better. Leos, what's going on for you? I keep hearing the number 8. That's been coming up a lot lately. I want to say that there's a lot of talk of you being supportive. There's a lot of talk of you being a hard worker. There's also talk of you being, and you can Google 8 and see more what it's about. I don't do a ton with numerology, but what they're telling me is that this has to do with you being steady, that you could find yourself in a situation this week, especially Wednesday, Saturday morning into the afternoon, and even into next Thursday, where I see arrows coming at you, which is going to mean that people or situations are kind of, firing away, coming at you. I do not feel like it's a vicious type of an attack. I feel like it's life circumstances. For some of you, I'm actually feeling like it could be in-laws, or it could be difficult parents, difficult family members. For some of you, it even feels like co-workers or acquaintances that are just stirring the pot. Your job this week, Leos, is to be just incredibly focused in your own vibe. Go with the flow, be fluid, do what you're supposed to be doing. And if you could tune all of that chaos out, it also reminds me a bit of like Mercury in retrograde. A lot of potential miscommunications. Sometimes it's better just not to look at anybody and not to talk about anything. Because if people are bent on misunderstanding, there's really nothing that you could do. You shouldn't even be wasting your time or treading water on it anyways. Okay, so kind of keep your head down, stay focused. I am seeing that a situation is going to be released, possibly connected to an estate, a court situation, a contract, money that you were waiting on, a settlement, something like this. I see a situation letting go and allowing you to move forward. And I think it's going to be wise that you go forward sort of quickly, and that you're investing your new resources in an intelligent way. Don't be frivolous. Let's see, talk of Virgo. What is going on with Virgo? Straight away with you, I'm seeing power. And it's almost like you're getting back up on the horse, okay? So there's something going on where you're getting yourself back out there, and you're learning how to be at peace with where you were. I heard making amends, but I don't know who exactly you're making amends with other than yourself. I get the impression that you've been hard on yourself, and that you've been punishing yourself, or you've been preventing yourself from going out there and doing what you love or meeting new people. For a lot of you, I feel you getting out there and dating and doing something fresh and new. The thing with this is you're going to feel as though this is new because you are a new person at this point if you've learned your lessons and if you've done this work. And what seems to happen is that you get back up on this horse and you were thinking it might like take off without you or knock you off, and you're going to be in the dirt and clean your face off. You don't know how you're going to get to where you wanted to go. And none of that happens. It seems like it's a very friendly type of a power symbol. I think that it's going to take you into the next phase of your life. And it seems to me that this brings with it improvements on your other circumstances. For some of you, that's residency. And for some of you, it's more about work and money. I see a lot of you who appear to either own your own businesses, or you've been in a position that you weren't necessarily happy with. You know that you have more abilities than what you've been using where you are. And somehow getting back up on this horse is going to lead to a ton of development in all of that. I want to say that Thursday and Friday are going to be big days for you this upcoming, so that'll be today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, it seems like really loud energy. Also in the afternoon, pay attention to what's going on and see if something isn't being said that you were meant to overhear and utilize for your own self. Libra, what's going on with you? Libra, I have all of these hearts coming out of your heart, and it's over here to the right side of my chest. And what that's going to mean is that you may have had some anxiety over releasing the amount of love that you really want to give. For some of you, it feels like it could have been in regards to a child, or if you're in a new relationship and they have children, so they're kind of like your stepchildren, or you haven't been feeling completely able to let go, or you haven't been feeling completely accepted in a relationship. And you're learning that the only way to release that anxiety or that uptight feeling or that resentment, about it, or this awkward sense of like, how long is this going to go on for? The only way to really release it seems to be for you to give more love. Just give really freely and just sort of wear your heart on your sleeve and blah, 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 blah. And what I'm feeling from it is that it's almost like, the way parents get when, they have teenagers and it's like, I don't care. I'm just going to live my life. Like, these kids are so critical of everything. Who even cares anymore? And they're just silly. It's like you're letting it all out. And this person or these people that have been awkward with you, and for some of you, I am seeing an office or almost like a building. So these could be coworkers. You just don't care anymore. It's like, I'm coming out, get the party started, go have a good time. It's you, it's your party. Who cares? I also feel like as this is happening, like your third eye is opening up. And that to me is symbolic of a heightened sense of intuition or increased intuitive intelligence. And you could be channeling more very vivid dreams too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Good for you, Libra. Let it go. Who cares? Scorpio, what's going on with you? Okay. So Scorpio, I'm seeing you almost like a snake in the grass, and that can mean that you're kind of hiding in a situation, or you're trying to observe things from not a low level per se, but from an angle where you won't be recognized. And if you're doing anything from down low, you get many more perceptions, okay, than you would at eye level. So it's not just about being hidden. It's also about the amount of information that you're trying to collect. What's interesting is that I have you keeping an eye on two people or two situations, two projects, and you're looking over here to your past periodically. I keep looking over here to my past. There's something that you may feel is resurrecting itself from your past. I want to say Wednesday is a particularly strong day on this. Tuesday is also being mentioned, and Monday evening may show you some signs of what's going on with this, but more through a mistake where somebody says something and they don't realize that you're there, or you're getting it intuitively. Maybe your spirit guides are indicating something, or you get it through a dream. Pay attention. Now, what's happening with this thing is that as it comes in, you're feeling like it is almost like telling you, it's almost like telling you that it's time to put a cap on something or to end a cycle. It's almost like you're trying to catch your own snake and just like get it in a jar. And I'm just going to control this thing. It does threaten in its own way. And for some of you, I am feeling like this is finances, but for a lot of you, I'm almost feeling like this is an axe, or if you're dealing with a divorce, or this is some kind of a battle between, siblings over estate stuff. It's the kind of thing that could threaten your peace, but you're being very watchful. And the second it comes, you're putting the lid on it and you're like, it's done. Now it's done. And yeah, so then I feel like you're more free to go forward. And this is going to affect you over the next 3 to 7 months. So if done wisely, this can be the end of that issue. The other 2 things that you're watching over here are about progress, but this has to be dealt with first. Okay, so you're kind of multitasking. Eyes everywhere, eyes in the back of your head this week. Sagittarius, what is going on with you? Sag, I just had an airplane come in from the upper front area, which is going to be the free will future zone for you, and it went directly behind over here to your past. This looks to me like prosperity. It also looks like you're potentially taking a trip that's a repeat trip. You're revisiting a place that you've already been. You're revisiting a place that you lived in a past life, okay? Anytime I talk about the past, I'm not literally necessarily talking about in this life. We have past lives that influence us. You're going back. You're going back to something that you would understand on a soul level. And I'm also feeling as though you're possibly doing this with a partner, potentially a love partner, and you and this person are figuring out where our lives are going. What does this mean? It seems to break down into like 4 separate categories. For some of you, it may only be 3. For some of you who have been debating, do I want to have children? Do I want to settle down? Are we supposed to be getting married? I have a big anxiety attack going on over that. And what that can mean is not that it's bad. It can just mean that you haven't completely processed what that's going to feel like in the day-to-day, which makes sense because it isn't here yet. So you don't know. I think that a good approach to all of this change is to have more confidence in your ability to sustain yourself through anything that might seem new or uncomfortable or anxiety inducing. Have confidence in yourself to get rooted and grounded and to handle it without sort of a frantic or outwardly aggressive. You don't want to come at situations like a pit bull. You don't want to come at your love partner like a pit bull when they have struck a chord or pressed a button and they're pushing you, beyond your comfort zone. It's calm, cool, collected, analyze it. And I think that's really where the issue's coming from, is that you're not very confident that you can analyze it and get the answers, which means that you won't know how to not only perceive it, but how to go forward and improve upon it. So have confidence that the answers are there. And let me put it this way, Sag, you're not the only ones, who maybe don't do a great job all the time figuring out, okay, these are my thoughts, therefore I'm having these feelings, therefore I'm taking this action. And if that's the case, call in your guides, call in God, call in your angels, go sit for 10 minutes and allow spirit to talk to you and help you through it. Capricorn, what is going on with you? Capricorn, I have money coming in straight away. I want to say that I'm also hearing Monday for you. You may be hearing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it trails off and then it comes back a couple weeks down the road. Some new business opportunity, some new venture, somebody wanting to pair up with you, someone wanting to buy your product or take your product and put it in their shop or network with you somehow. This to me feels like it's a lot of money coming in. It's going to be long-term advantages. It's going to be the kind of advantages that you could take to then invest in even more. And I see new siding on your house. This can mean that you'll have enough to do upgrades on your property, get a new property. It can also represent, anytime we're talking about the house, we could also be talking about you, okay? Even in especially dream symbology. Anytime you see a house, the house represents your body, your life. And if I'm looking at new siding, we could be talking about fixing up some things with your health, maybe going shopping, doing some things for you to focus on your outside, your exterior. I feel good about all of this. I also feel like there's a bit of an unresolved issue that you've been having where you don't want to, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but you don't want to address either a situation within your social group or dating life or health. Now, this could be your health. This could also be like your parents' health if you're watching out over them, or a child or a spouse. You don't want to rock the boat, so you've been saying nothing. But whatever this issue is, health or otherwise, it does need to come up this week. And I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but Tuesday's coming up with you for this. Aquarius, what's going on with you? Aquarius, I feel very quick energy coming up behind you and sort of scampering up, like your upper shoulders and over your head. I feel that some things may be coming from behind you that you didn't see coming. I also see some cats, and cats can be a bit of a warning about your circumstances. In particular, I'm feeling like the people around you. For some of you, it looks a little bit more like we could be talking about some finances that maybe weren't dealt with, or something comes up that was sitting there, but you overlooked it. So something may have to get squared away. It's no major deal. I feel though with the people that are talking, they could be a little bit more tricky. Primarily it's one person. So I want to say watch your work environment. For those of you who understand this as a weird family dynamic that's gone on for a long time, I honestly, when I look at it, I think, why even talk to them anymore? I don't get it. But whatever, some people have like that mentality, like blood is thicker than water. I don't. Energy is energy. A lot of times we get placed in families that are really problematic, and it's a big test to see whether or not we're going to rise above it and cut ourselves free and actually live the lives we were meant to. So be careful with that. But it looks very problematic in the sense that this person will not let up. Somebody is relentless in causing trouble for you. And I really don't know what the benefit is for you other than a pattern behavior, habitual. So if this is a work environment, it looks to me like Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon. I want to say talk to some other people. Say, this is just an example, say you work in a school and there's someone who tends to go around and gossip and is stirring the pot, trying to, talk negatively about you to someone higher up or make it look like you're incompetent in some way. Pay attention to their patterns and who they talk with, and then go put yourself next to those people afterward. See what you could pick up on from their energy. Great time to use your telepathic abilities. And I think you will be able to stop this and prevent it before it gets to a place. I feel like even if you don't, whoever they might be talking to, this could end up blowing up in their face and be quite entertaining because whoever they go to that's higher up might be like, I don't want to hear this. Like, this is a character flaw in you. So this could be fun. This is good karma. Front row seat to the karma show, potentially. Regardless, you want to protect yourself. Okay, so do what you can. Pisces, what do I have going on with you? Pisces, I have somebody coming in and reaching way down into your heart chakra and pulling something out. I feel like you might be meeting someone new this week. And this person, it's almost like you've never met anyone like this. It's like, I've never been in this situation, or I've never had this opportunity, or I've never seen anyone who functions like this. This person is incredibly intuitive. And if this is more of a situation, if you understand it that way, it's incredibly in alignment with where you are energetically and developmentally right now. It has the power to reach down and take out what is no longer useful in your heart chakra. it's actually reaching down into the bottom part of the heart, where I say that's heartbreak or deep loss, or this is where people would say, grandma died of a broken heart and things like that. It lingers way down at the bottom. So this hand goes in, it pulls it out. The thing is, once it pulls it out, you almost seem a little bit stunned, and you seem to not really know what to do with that information now that it's occurred. You're going to need to process all of that, and I think it's something to celebrate, not run away from. That's nice to have help, okay? We're supposed to have help. We can't hide away from all kinds of growth and those that are put on our path, or situations that are put on our path to help us to graduate up to the next level. So on Wednesday in particular, some of this comes up. I'm also feeling like you may find yourself invited to something like theater or a movie or some kind of movie review. I have you looking at something very theatrical and artistic, and I sense music and things like this going on. You may find yourself in a position to go and be a bit of an analyst, a judge. You could pull a Paul, right? Just kind of analytical about something that's going on. But it feels to me like it really feeds your soul. And I sense you with a couple other people. So it's going to be really important that you go out, you shake it up, you allow this to happen. For some of you, you're recognizing that this is a passion for you, and it could even lead into career. For others, around Friday and Saturday, but I want to say also into a Thursday evening, some of you might be deciding on a new career change, or going back and switching up your education or something like this. If you feel that it is within your life contract, even if it does not match what you've been doing for a long time, get yourself free and pursue it. Okay, it's always worth it to pursue what your intuitive gut tells you is right. And it does not have to match your feelings, and it does not have to match your logic. Okay, so good luck going forward, everybody. I will see you for the next Ask a Medium on Wednesday, November 20th. Please subscribe for your weekly and monthly horoscope updates. Thanks, everybody. Now, we are going to get into the other part of the show here, where we're taking your questions. Here's making me nuts.
I think it's lovely.
You think it's lovely. That's why I have you here. You keep telling me that. Thank you. Okay, so why don't we move on to, I'd like to take one from here, actually.
Right. Excuse me. All right. Sherelle Warren, is the love I am chasing after worth waiting for? And she gave us the initials SR.
SR. SR. Is the person she's waiting on worth waiting for? Is that how she said it?
Chasing after worth waiting for.
This person to me feels more than just a little unavailable. My sense here is that this person is fighting some demons and climbing some mountains. And both of these would suggest a lot of growth being needed and a high level of, it's almost like disorganization. It's sort of like this person has nothing in front of them that they have to do. And they're like, I'm doing all this, I'm taking care of this. And then sometimes they seem to have a ton of stuff in front of them, a ton of attachments or unfinished business connections. And they're like, oh, I'm all tied up in this. And my feeling is that they're using all of this as an excuse, whether it be this first situation or the second situation. They're using it as an excuse to be unavailable, because the truth of the matter is they don't want to be organized. They don't want to have to figure out what all of this means. And they really don't know what they want. And that does unfortunately seem to involve you. So you could be coming up really short on this one. My sense is often do your own thing because there is somebody else. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. TJ Klein, I had a vivid dream where I found 3 large gold coins. Can you tell me the meaning?
Money, money, money. That's the meaning. 3 large gold coins. Coins are always going to represent cash, but they can also represent opportunities. Now, opportunities in your growth, your development, your relationship, whatever it is, these opportunities can ultimately be converted into your own strength. And that could be converted into, your own prosperity, which could ultimately lead to even more money. But I do tend to think of those quite literally as financial opportunities. Okay, so take it however you understand it. But when you have a dream like this, it's not uncommon to have it play out within the next 3 weeks, maybe 4 months. And if you were to track what had gone on around that time, you may have noticed some opportunities for a new position, a new career in general. Maybe somebody offered something to you, networking opportunities, conversations, jobs that you could bid on, all kinds of things. Yeah, that's really good. We have another one from here?
No.
Okay, how about this?
Yes. Okay. This one is from 289.
Okay.
My marriage ended and he moved on so quickly. Is there healing and love coming? And her name, his name.
Okay, from a 289, your marriage ended and your ex-husband moved on really quickly. And you want to know why. Is there room for, is there healing that's coming in? For ethical reasons, it's important to be careful exactly how, how things like this are said, but I don't get the impression from this person that he was really all that invested anyways. Okay. His head seems to be in other places. He seems to be in other places. He seems to be energetically on. This was empty to begin with, and you knew that. The real healing that needs to happen here is in your decision to wear rose-colored glasses or to avoid. Why was this avoided for so long? If it didn't feel right, why wasn't it addressed? You didn't want to rock the boat. Okay, so I think it's important. Here's where your healing can come from. Instead of focusing on him, how did he move on? Why am I the only one suffering? When will my healing come to me? You're going to go claim it. You're going to go take your healing. You're going to go create your healing. You're going to set yourself on fire and cleanse all of these bad habits out of yourself that really shouldn't have been there in the first place. Now, when you are able to take responsibility for the situation and say, okay, I allowed it, shouldn't have allowed it, it was below me, then I think that's where the feeling better about yourself will really come in. And I don't think that you'll ever go back to this pattern, but it was a pattern. And it was a pattern for you before this person, and it's a pattern for you in other areas of your life. Do a full-on evaluation. Where do you wear rose-colored glasses? Where do you decide you don't want to rock the boat? And where do you sort of minimize yourself and not command what you're worthy of receiving? Let's see. How about this one?
It's down there.
Oh, okay. So, I have a question coming in here from a Sue. Okay. This is another relationship question, asking why she was in a relationship for about 8 months with this man she fell madly in love with, and she wanted to know why he broke up with her through text. Suddenly, he lives, I guess it was 45 minutes out of town, and never tried to come and see her, never tried to do a face-to-face. What was this about? Because he had been asking her to move to where he was, and he had been talking to her about merging their lives. There were also children involved in the merge. Okay. So what I'm seeing with this situation is that, Sue, you have a lot of empathic ability going on. You're a healer. You're in tune to people's emotions. You're in tune to other people's needs. You're very empathetic in general, probably working in the healing arts in some way. And this person is a narcissist. This is the research shows most common group that empaths attract are narcissists and sociopaths. So I would recommend the empathic awareness lecture that we have up on my website. The link is above and below. You need to train in what it means to be an empath and how you attract these people. He was not intending to have you actually merge your households. He was not intending to have you merge your finances and the children and all of this, but he used whatever he had. He used his kids. He used you wanting to move and relocate out there and you giving him his heart. The more he could convince you that you guys were meant to be, that everything was synchronistic, that this was the most incredible love, and that he wanted you in his life, the more vulnerable to the corruption you became. And once you let your guard down, he kicked you when you were down. He knocked you down. So none of it was real is another way to say that. And that's where your healing can come in. So Google narcissism and get the class on empathic awareness and understand how systems like this actually work, because they're very predictable. And you will be hearing from him again. He will try to come around to get you back into the position that you were before, hoping and wishing, because now you're desperate for answers. Okay, so he'll use this against you again and again and again. Let's see. That one?
That one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Mel Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Will we be getting the loan we are hoping for from a relative?
Feels really tricky to me. It feels like it's being held. It feels to me like there's a debate. I feel like this relative might not be sure. Then they seem distracted. So it's almost like maybe they forgot about it, or it's just not, a real priority for them. And then I saw it being downsized. So I keep getting a lot of 4s in all of this. So there may be talk of, well, maybe not that much, or let's do this amount and then see what happens, or something like that. But it feels to me like it kind of needs to be in one chunk, one lump sum. So ultimately, this is going to come down to a free will answer, meaning I can't give 100% guarantees because they could change their mind. It feels tricky to me, but I do think it'll happen. Yeah. I think what's good for you to do is to manifest it, visualize it, okay, over the course of the day, feel it in your emotions. Ooh, this is what it's going to feel like to have it and be able to move forward with my life, celebrate it as though you already have it. I think a little of that would help a lot. This one?
Okay. Kristen Nesbitt Dean? How do I know if it's my intuition or my spirit guides?
Kristen, I don't know if you've come in for level 1 psychic mediumship development class. It starts on the 14th, downloadable, Facebook Live, in person. You're really going to need to train to figure that out. That's part of my curriculum. That's a huge part of my curriculum. It's called the PSC method, the Psychology of Spirit Communication method. It helps you to understand the difference between your psychic ability, your mediumistic ability, your empathic ability. And when we get down to that type of intuition, because our question is, right, is it intuitive or is it spirit, right? You need to train. You need to learn the language. This is where most people start to fail, because their accuracy level, if you're trying to be a reader or you're trying to even read your own life, your accuracy is going to be off if you don't understand the difference there. One of the key things that you can look for is that with your intuition, it's typically coming from your psychic ability, your higher mind, your empathic ability. When it's coming from spirit, it's coming from guides, angels, pets, the deceased, God, higher ups. It is a completely different line of communication. And you should notice, if you're observant, every time you get something intuitively, that one of the things, if you're not coming in for classes, is just to start analyzing how it felt. What clairs you were using, did it come in through clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairempathy, clairsentience? Start breaking it down accordingly, and then figure out whether you think it came from spirit or it came from your own self. Now, if it comes from spirit, you can't control it, meaning you can't force them to be there and communicate. But if it comes from your own self, it's easier to control. Have one of these?
Mm-hmm. We have from YouTube.
Okay.
Therese Navone.
Okay.
Is asking, anything from my dad, Tom?
He makes me feel like you've been working really hard, and he makes me feel like you've been working really hard, and he feels like a bigger guy to me. He has a lot of strength. He was stable. I mean, he was like, I don't want to say stoic kind of guy, because he seems to have some, smiling and a lot of facial expressions and things like this, but he does carry a stoic energy about him, wanting you to know that you've been doing good, but you don't always have to soldier on and be as strong as you present yourself to be. It's okay for you to stumble and fall. It's okay for you to maybe let it out sometimes emotionally. It's okay for you to ask other people to get involved with your healing. It's not the type of thing that you want to carry as an armor or a mask or a monkey on your back. It's not the kind of thing that you want to go have a couple drinks or overeat or not sleep properly over. It's the type of thing that you need to process. And you've been working really hard, and you're incredibly strong, and he's very, very proud of you, and he's helping you through it. But let some of it go. Let some of it go. Okay. And he's always there to do that for you, but it's not enough. I think do it with somebody else, let some people in, because you are surrounded by people who love you. You like to be in charge. I'll let you just keep rolling with whatever you have here.
More of that.
Okay.
So this one is from M. Garcia on YouTube.
Okay.
And asking, was Justin's only purpose in my life to lead me to my life's purpose, or is there more?
Say the first part again.
Was Justin's only purpose in my life?
Oh, okay. In her life. Yeah. To lead her to
her life's
her life path. Let me see. Justin, what am I getting with this? It feels like it. Yeah. This is where you want to be careful when we're talking about soulmate connection. We're talking about past life connection, karmic contracts, our life contracts and things like this. We tend to get either romantic ideas about this type of thing, or we tend to get ideas about longevity. We will look at anyone, romantic or otherwise, and we'll say they were supposed to be here. It was supposed to be something more than this. Not necessarily. I think it's really wise the way that you chose to look at it and step back and say, wow, what did this relationship show me? Well, it led you to your life path, your life purpose. And then it's not at all uncommon to have the relationship dissolve, or the person disappear, or the person, pass away, or whatever ends up happening. And or the next important person show up in your life, and you're doing that for other people. You are that to someone else. And then you will also probably, disappear. It's in our relationships with others. It's all about movement. It's all about growth. And so it's important, to look at every relationship and say, what was I supposed to learn? How did it help me? How did I help them? And it gets really interesting. We have a class called Karma Contracts and Past Lives, where relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting, where we look at all the different reasons people are brought together and how we don't want to hold on to them or try to force them to be something else, but appreciate them for what they actually are. And it gets pretty wild, especially with the karmic contracts, I would say. You have another one for me from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Nicole B. from YouTube.
Okay.
What is my life contract?
Okay. Well, that's the kind of thing you're going to want to book a reading you're going to want to book a reading for. I do live contract reads. But one of the things I have enough time to look at is that you seem to be put in a position for the first 25 years of your life where you're pulling people up. You're pulling people up. You may have noticed this with family. You may have noticed this with possibly even your parents, or being exposed to difficult situations, or even people around you who were like maybe sick. You seem to be placed universally, constantly in atmospheres, whether it just be social or day-to-day running of errands or your workplace, where you're in a position to pick people up and pull them up to a higher level, higher ground, help them to get stabilized. What seems to go on, though, and you may even be going through some of this right about now, is some changes in the work and the career. And I do feel that at some point you're going to really want to shift into more communications and possibly even business. You're really good at going into a room and saying, this is what needs to be done, or this is what I'm talking about. And it's almost like you put everybody under a trance. Like you can force a room to listen and tune in, and they process everything that you're saying. You could make a good living off of this, and you would be seen as a valuable player to a company. You may also cause some people to feel jealous over that because they're worried you're going to take their position. You could do anything in business, independent, contractor work, self-employed, using that. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to one of these.
Okay.
This is Amber Rokipka. My teen daughter is going through some changes, and I feel very disconnected with her. Is this a phase, or is there something I should be worried about? And her name is Charlize.
Charlize?
Mm.
I just feel like she doesn't really want to talk. I feel, and I don't take this the wrong way, but I feel she really doesn't want to talk to you, and it's hurtful. I think that she has a bit of it almost feels to me like it's sometimes a real haughty attitude about it. It's very exclusionary. It's very like, it's almost like a hook and bait too. It's like a cat and mouse type of a game. I think that a lot of this is her kind of pressing your buttons, So she may be deliberately walling you out just to kind of make you feel that way, or to get you to chase her. And you have a very nervous, you think that you cover it well. But energy doesn't lie. And especially at her age, they're incredibly intuitive. I mean, so accurate. No one in the free world would convince them, no matter the education, that they're wrong, and that's very bold. But in this, they're really not that wrong. You carry a nervous energy, and you carry, at this point, an energy that's a little bit needy and pulling and tugging. And it's like, you have cords with your daughter because she's your daughter, but you want so much more out of that. And that's where a lot of the repelling is coming from. So what I would recommend that you do is to understand that, yes, it is a phase, but it's also her personality in a lot of ways. So no, some of that needs to be dealt with and addressed now. Boundaries need to be set. And I think that if you were to focus more on your own self, especially when she's around, you're reading books, you're talking to people, you're doing whatever you do, your own growth and development, you have a million other things to focus on anyways. And every time those thoughts resurrect and come into your head, is she okay? Why is she walling me out? I hate feeling this way. I want you to replace that with saying, she's perfectly fine. This is the healthiest thing that I can do for us right now. I'm enjoying being focused on me right now. It feels really good to own my own energy and not be enmeshed. Change your thoughts. That will shift your energy. And she's going to pick up on that and come running back around. Like a cat. You ignore a cat and they come back. Not that that's the goal. The goal is for you to take charge over your energy again. It's a little too enmeshed right now. And that's pushing her away.
Sally Hodgkiss from YouTube.
Okay.
Any message, please, from my mom. And then mom's name is Janet.
Janet for Sally. Your mother's talking a little bit about your feet, your ankles. We could be talking about circulation or the bones, but I feel like she's putting socks on you, telling you to take good care of your feet and your ankles. She is very protective over you, emotionally, mentally, really wanting to make sure that she comes. I see her coming and wrapping you in a blanket. This is always symbolic of someone giving you support. And my sense here is that you've been feeling a little bit lost. She said you've been feeling a little bit lost at sea and lonely. So it's a sense of maybe not knowing exactly what the future holds, or not taking a ton of enjoyment and pleasure in where you are with everything, and also feeling a little bit like you maybe are detached or don't have the support that you need. I have you saying, well, I'm surrounded by people who love me, and I know this, but it doesn't feel that way. So she is stepping in, visiting you in a couple dreams, 2 in particular, and she says that you have naturally sort of like an upbeat, fun type of energy where you like to go get it. You like to do new things. You like to experiment and learn and all of this. She said, feed that right now. Okay. She loves you very much. Okay.
Got another YouTube.
Okay.
This one is Victoria Mitchell. She's asking, there are messages from Elizabeth Murphy Quinn. She is my grandmother, Nana Quinn, and she passed a long time ago.
Nana Quinn. Woo, this woman has a lot of energy about her. She comes in like a soldier. She comes in very much in charge of a situation, is capable of making something out of nothing. So I don't know if she lived through the Depression or what exactly I'm looking at, but she didn't have a lot, and she'd be like, take a scrap of this and some hot water and a can with a hole in it, and we're going to make, it's like, she's like MacGyver, she's just making things out of nothing, making it happen. I feel like I'm maybe even looking at like food or gardening and like possibly putting food away. She is incredibly capable of caretaking under stressful circumstances, not only of herself, but of others. And she said you're just like her. She said, you're just like me. You see the world in the same way. You may even look the same, literally through here and down here, but there is mention of your father through this part of your face too. And she just is talking about how beautiful you are, in and out, in and out. And she said, stick by your morals, have moral integrity, stick by your ethics, because you might be finding yourself in a situation for the next 3 to 4 months where, let's say, people in your circle or at work, the company you work for, whatever it is, they're doing some questionable things. And you're really going to have to say, I am not comfortable participating in this. It's not up to my ethical standards, and just sort of doing more of your own thing. I see you analyzing things as you go forward more intensely. And she's helping you with that. She loves you very much. Happy birthday or anniversary right around this time. Also, giving you a red rose and mentioning some jewelry that may have been passed down. Back to Facebook or wherever. I don't care where.
Okay. Okay. This one is from Shania Robinson. I would like to know about my relationship with Anthony and if everything is going to get better.
Anthony, and her name is Shania.
C-H-A, Shania.
Oh, Sharnia. Okay. And she wants to know about her relationship with Anthony. Anthony feels really mad. He feels angry. I think he's angry at himself. He doesn't do well with blows to the ego. And I don't want to minimize it and be like, well, no, nobody does good with a blow to the ego. No, some people actually do take that. And, that's what we're all supposed to be doing. You have a little blow to the ego. You realize, oh, gee, maybe I'm not up to a certain standard, or I need to grow. I need to develop. I need to stretch myself. Maybe I have the tools to make that happen. If I don't, I'm going to go get them, but other people get mad and they blame you and they blame their circumstances and they stay small. So what I'm feeling is that you, in most situations in your life, like to grow. And Anthony likes, is that his name?
Yeah.
Gets small. And so we no longer have a lot of compatibility going here, because then we're talking about levels in growth and development. One's going up and one's going down or staying the same. Okay, so do I see it getting better? In about 3 years, I think he's going to, the universe has a funny way of allowing people to take hits or have opportunities for growth or be exposed to circumstances that can train them in becoming wiser about themselves and the world and universal order of things. So he may have a bit of a, you could call it spiritual, you could call it energetic or just self-development, but he may be shaken and rattled and a bit woken up. We'll see what he does with it at that time. Up until then, I basically feel like it's sort of lip service coming out of him. He'll get angry. He'll be like, okay, even if he's angry at himself, I'll do this thing. I'll work at this, even if it's like marriage counseling or, doing some kind of relationship homework. And then it seems to fall a bit short.
Yeah.
We have an interesting or another interesting
one. Yeah. This one is Colleen Rogers Ray. Ivy, I am 60. Why am I going through a stroke of bad luck just like that?
Sometimes when you are moving up to the next level with your intuitive development or in your life, there's prosperity coming in, you can find yourself under attack. And I have a class coming up here that's really foundational and all about this. It's called Fighting the Dark. When is this?
December 10th.
December 10th. So you can take it through Facebook Live, video download, or you can come join us in person at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. Fighting the Dark is all about those times when you feel like you're just taking one punch after another. Where is it coming from? Why is it coming? When you take too much at once, hits like that, you start to notice that it's synchronistic somehow and that it's too much to be just a coincidence. It's an opportunity for you to grow and for you to have more, but you don't get it for free. So typically what we would see are attacks on our person or maybe our health, right? Definitely the mental and emotional state. And it's common to see it with the finances, but you might also notice that it's coming from your inner circle. So you have to watch the people around you who are supposed to be the most supportive and make sure that they're not being channeled through and used to upset you in any way. So this is a great time for you to kind of pull back, 10 class, learn all about it, and be guarded. But my sense with you, too, is that you may have recently gone through some type of, can't prescribe diagnose, but whether it be a health issue or some kind of a difficult life circumstance that would have actually increased your intuitive abilities. And when that happens, we're talking about something called Kundalini, where you're evolving spiritually, we could call this energetically, developmentally. You're evolving there. And that has a lot of these side effects, okay? So you're kind of having it's like almost like a double hit on you right now that we could break down in a lot of different ways, but basically you're intuitively intelligent and you do need to learn through the Fighting the Dark, the systems that everybody, whether you're intuitively intelligent or not, if you're going to move up a new level, there's going to be a new devil, all right? That's what it looks like to me. It's something to try to celebrate it, like, ooh, something good. The worse my life gets, the more I'm like, I must really be onto something good. It's right around the corner. And it always is. It's always huge, huge. You just got to get through the storm. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope to see you for level 1 psychic mediumship development, a ton of other classes. ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. I do have the link above to my website if you want to book a reading with me or come see me at one of my public shows. We also have a ton of Ivy League psychic fairs going on around town, showcasing my students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy, including November 30th is our walk-in night psychic fair, $15. You get 2 tickets. That's 2 readings, 2 healings. Come see us. And the next Ask Medium is November 20th. Subscribe to me on YouTube at Ask a Medium for your weekly and monthly horoscope updates. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Paul.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.